We have a role to play wherever our security is challenged or that of our region. So, of course, there is a role for us to play. We have spoken openly about the need for there to be a de-escalation, our opposition, our huge opposition to the use of nuclear weapons. We've called on sanctions to be upheld, and we've done what we can to enforce them in our region. And so, yes, we've used the voice that we have. That is not how I would classify New Zealand's relationship with China at all. No, not at all. I mean, I would characterise our relationship in the same way that you might with a family member. It is strong, it's solid, and it's sound enough that we can have those discussions around those kind of issues without it placing any strain on the relationship. Look, my last conversation with Malcolm was when he called to congratulate me on my baby news. So, look, I think we've got a great relationship. It's been an extraordinary year, and there was this moment really at the end of last year where I was being interviewed and asked, you know, gosh, tell me what's been the biggest news, what's the biggest element of this year for you? And the one thing that actually probably I would have named, I couldn't. And it was the fact that I'd found out I was unexpectedly pregnant. So the moment when I found out, it was shock really. Because as I've spoken just a little bit about, my partner and I had been told that we would struggle to have kids on our own, so it was just pure shock, really. Yeah, I'm really pleased that what we set out to do in our 100-day plan we've done. Some of those have a long tail on them, and so the next challenge will be managing them through to the end of their life. There's a couple of pieces of work we've kicked off that we have to see through, and we've set goals that we now have to fulfil. But it is a great start. Now it's about mapping out the rest of those policies that really sit behind the priorities we have as a government, which sit around boosting employment in our regions, making sure that we're creating and sharing our prosperity, making sure we boost those fundamental services around education and health. So we've got some weighty goals and a lot of ideas on how to get there. It's all implementation now, and I'm enjoying the challenge of putting in place the mechanisms to do that. No recent discussions with Australia around those on managed scenarios. Simply there's been no need for that. We have set out clearly the offer that has sat on the table for nigh on 5 years now. The Australian government knows it's there, so there's been no cause for discussion on that in recent times. The perspective I've held is from a New Zealand one, which is we do not face the same kind of border issues that Australia does. We have worked alongside them to try and crack down on people smugglers because we are a member of a wider region. We have a responsibility there, and that's the same way we've approached the offer of taking refugees, is to fulfil our international obligations, and so that's the manner in which that offer was made.